Now, before ending this podcast, I wanted to do a quick update around the permutations around the 4 best second place teams. Now, the reason for doing this is, look, there's a world where if Nigeria don't win on Friday, this content will not be useful after Friday. So let me mention it now while there's hope. I've done my research about the possibility of Nigeria qualifying as one of the best second place teams after Eritrea's withdrawal from Group E. Now, just so you know, every group, all 9 groups have 6 teams in their group, except one, Group E. Group E have 5 teams. Morocco have already qualified from that group, and then you've got Tanzania and Niger who are vying for second spot in that group. Now, because Eritrea withdrew from qualification from that group because of fear of their players seeking asylum, it means that whoever finishes second in Group E would only have played 8 games. Meanwhile, every other group would have played 10 games. Now, whether you like it or not, if you're Tanzania or Niger or Zambia, that is not fair because you do not have the opportunity to get an additional 6 extra points. Yeah? Are you with me? Now, based on the usual process and what I've seen in terms of precedents, what then happens to make it fair is when all the teams are finished second, the regional body, whether it's FIFA or CAF, will then bring all the points that these second place teams have and games played, but to equalize it, to make it an equal 8 games played, they will remove the results of the second place teams against the bottom place team in each group. Are you with me? So what this means is every second place team will now be judged based on 8 games they played. But of course, based on the strength of the group, it makes sense to minus the 6 points from the worst team rather than 6 points from who you played against the best team. So now, I thought this was initial hearsay, but after doing my research, this happened for the 2016 Euros. You know, France hosted but didn't take part in qualifiers, leaving a group with 1 less team. The top 2 teams qualified, but the teams in 3rd place had the results against the bottom teams removed to make it equal to determine who the best 3rd place teams were. The same procedure also happened for the 2022 World Cup qualifiers in Asia, where North Korea withdrew from Group H, and the same process was applied to determine the second best place teams. In the 2019 Asian Cup as well, where UAE was hosting but also played group stage games, the best 3rd place team had their results against the bottom team nullified. Now, the 2018 and 2022 UEFA World Cup qualifiers also had the same process because some groups had 5 teams and some had 6. Now, any team that had 6 teams, the results against the bottom teams were not included in the ranking for the best second place teams. CAF will most likely take this into consideration, but I must confirm that FIFA and CAF have not yet announced the procedure they're going to use. But when you look at the precedent that we've seen over the past 10, 20 years, and to make it equal for Group E, whoever finishes second in Group E, it is likely CAF will apply the same logic. Now, if they apply that same logic, what will now happen is that because our group has the strongest, most useless team in Zimbabwe, they will be minusing 2 points from Nigeria because we drew against Zimbabwe, we not beat them. So it's quite ironic that the Trust Ekong mistake may end up being a blessing for us for second place. Are you with me? That being said, we all know what are the chances of Nigeria if we finish second anyway. So we already know we got our 2 draws against Zimbabwe, and it's very unlikely Zimbabwe will win both of their games in this qualifying round to go above Lesotho, because if it's now Lesotho at the bottom team, they will minus 4 points from us, assuming we get 3 points on Friday. So I've now gone and done a whole bunch of research. Shout out to Gemini and AI. So I tried to predict the results of all the other groups for these next 2 games to have a good idea of where we will end up at in our group. And I must say that it gives me a bit more hope than I initially had. Now, why do I say this? We know already that Morocco and Tunisia have already qualified, by the way. And also, before I touch on these second place things, Ghana can also qualify tomorrow. Cape Verde can also qualify tomorrow if they beat Libya away, but that's going to be a tough game. Egypt could also qualify tomorrow once they beat Djibouti, so that one is definitely signed, sealed, and delivered. Senegal, if they beat South Sudan away and DR Congo fail to beat Togo, will also qualify. And Ivory Coast will also qualify this Friday if they beat Seychelles, and Gabon failed to beat Gambia away. So it lets you also know the tale of two AFCON finalists, by the way. Ivory Coast are unbeaten in World Cup qualifiers. Ever since they changed to that fire guy, they've played 8 games, they've not considered 1 goal. Them and Tunisia, they've not considered any goal. You know? So meanwhile, Nigeria are yet to win 2 games in a row. But anyway, the reason why I'm bringing this up is when you look at the points, a lot of the second place teams that already have points, they all got 6 points against the useless teams in their group. Now, I'm 99% sure Gabon and Cameroon are virtually guaranteed playoff spots. And there's a world where DR Congo, Burkina Faso, and Nigeria, if we win our games and do what we need to do goal difference-wise, are the 3 teams that will battle for that final 2 spots. Now, why is this? Burkina Faso plays Sierra Leone away tomorrow. And Sierra Leone have a very good record when they play at home in Liberia. So if Burkina Faso fail to win, that could really, really put some serious damage to their chance of qualifying. But if they beat Sierra Leone, and especially with their goal difference, it could really help them out. So watch this space. Make sure you watch the Burkina Faso game tomorrow, or at least keep an eye on it. Also, DR Congo go away to play Togo on Friday. It's another one to monitor, and then they play home against Sudan. Sudan are high flyers in their group. They're 3rd. Remember, Sudan Kwesi Appiah knocked out Ghana from the AFCON qualifiers. But there's a world where these are 2 teams we have to monitor. But based on my calculations and what I've been able to look at when you look at our performances, and mind you, this is just based on Nigeria beating Lesotho 4-0 and Nigeria somehow beating Benin Republic by 1 goal or 2 goals. You will then see that they're going to minus the points to make it a equal 8 games played for the group. And I have Nigeria sneaking in as the 3rd best second place side. Mind you, if this is not implemented, there will be some kind of legal action from Tanzania or Niger. So it is very likely. It's just annoying that we've not yet seen it confirmed. So this gives hope for that continental playoff, because there's a world where, by my predictions, it will be Cameroon, Gabon, Nigeria, and DR Congo who make the group. Now, there's a world where if Burkina Faso will beat Sierra Leone tomorrow, we could sneak in ahead of a DR Congo. But basically, we have to hope that DR Congo and Burkina Faso do not win all their games. When I look at Group G with Mozambique, Group I with Mali, Group H with Namibia, I don't think any of those teams have any chance of finishing as one of the best second place teams, because they either have to play the strongest team in their group or very, very tricky games that they're just not going to win both games. So what does this mean? Based on the new ranking, we could see Cameroon, Gabon, Nigeria, and DR Congo advancing to the continental playoff to be played in November, which will be one-off games. So let's see, Sha. But I'm just saying that there's hope. You know, we will know more after Friday based on how all the other second place teams perform. But please know that I've done this research and there's precedent around minusing points from the bottom ranked team in uneven groups. So let's see what happens with the Super Eagles and how we perform. But all these permutations do not matter if we do not get 6 points from a possible 6 points. So looking forward to the game on Friday. Remember, it's 5 p.m. Nigeria time. We will be live streaming the watch along for that game, and of course doing a review episode and a hot takes episode. So please look out for that content. Make sure you support the Super Eagles, and hopefully they don't go shame us this time. And that's it for this episode of the podcast. And I'll see you on episode 167, where we do the review of the episode. But if you're watching this and you join me on the live stream, I will see you on Friday in a do or die game for the Super Eagles.